Have you ever been in those awkward situations where you're witnessing two middle-aged women talking, and there's this 50-year-old woman and she tells her friend that her brain feels different? You hear her say, "It's slower and foggier, your ears prick up," and her friend kindly says, "Well, we're all getting a bit older, aren't you?" Or just something like, "Well, it's probably just all in your head, lovely." And you see that first woman nod. She books nothing. And she goes home and quietly starts writing herself off that very night. So she needs to hear this. You need to hear this. It's not just age. And it's not just all in your head the way they mean it. It's in your head in a way we can now photograph. My name's Lynn. I'm a physio and a psychotherapist, and I'm climbing my own Mount Menopause. So today I'm walking you inside the menopause brain. We're going to look at some real scans from a real lab because you deserve the proof, not just a pat on the arm to cope. One quick thing to stand on if you're new here. I'm basically here to tell you what nobody else is saying, that perimenopause is not a decline. I want to flip that and have you see that as a climb. I call it Mount Menopause, actually. And I'm just one step ahead of you in this jungle. So I know you've already reached one summit of this mountain. Your career height, you've got it all, life built already. But then all of a sudden, just as when you're starting to enjoy the view that you've built, the terrain shifted from underneath your feet. It's like a landslide, and it can feel like you're shooting downhill, but it's actually a new mountain that's formed. And if you see it in that way, then you can see it as a pass between your previous life career success and your second summit. And the version of you that comes out on the far side is psychologically stronger than when you actually came up into it. So the fog, the rage, the 3 a.m. wake-ups, they're not the end of the road, they're just the elements in this jungle. They're the weather that you can learn to climb in. And today, we're talking about this voice, this whisper that you hear on the wind that just says you're getting old, and that's all there is to it. So, here's the story most women get handed. Your brain feels off, you're tired, you're stressed, you're middle-aged, so have a multivitamin. And it's such an easy story to swallow because it asks nothing of anyone. There's no test, no follow-up. It's just age. The word that won't come mid-sentence, the thought that was right there and then wasn't, holding less than you used to. This isn't ordinary forgetfulness. It's a different quality of thinking, like the connection dropped a bar, and every time you raise it, it gets waved away. We all forget names. Wait till you're my age, so you stop raising it. You just carry it, and that carrying makes you smaller. Here's the cruelty of it's just age. You can't argue with getting older. It's unfalsifiable. So you swallow it and you turn it on yourself. And the rage rabbit inside some of us, I say that with love because I've got a big hairy one. We don't cry in front of anyone. We get sharper, harder. We snap at the kids and then hate ourselves on the drive home. Not because we've become horrible people, but because at the end of the day, we're frightened. And being frightened with no evidence, no name, no proof is a very lonely place to be. And slowly you start to wonder if you're imagining the whole thing. But you're not imagining it. But it is all in your head. And here's how we know. A team at Weill Cornell, led by the neuroscientist called Lisa Mosconi, did something simple and radical. They scanned women's brains across pre, peri, and post-menopause. So the structure, the wiring, and how the brain uses its fuel. Two things showed up. The structure shifts. Measurable changes in gray and white matter in exactly the regions that run memory and attention. And the fuel measurable reductions in how those regions use glucose. So just go back and watch my video on that one. But here's the part that should be on a card in every GP surgery, I think. They compared each woman to men of the same age. And the changes didn't track how old the women were. They tracked where she was in the menopause transition. So read that again. It is not your age. It is where you are in the transition specifically. So when you said your brain felt different, you were right. There's a scan that agrees with you. I'll be straight with you because I don't do hype, okay? A lot of this imaging is cross-sectional, different women at different stages, not the same women followed for years, okay? And the sample is still very small. But this is base camp science. It's not the summit. This is the beginning of a whole new field of study. But every bit points to the same direction. And it points at you being right. And this is genuinely the frontier. 10 years ago, nobody was imagining this. Our mothers, our grandmothers, they had none of this. They also didn't really live as long into this. And they didn't have these life stresses that us have, that we have in this generation, the sandwich generation, where we've got children that are actually younger than, we have children who are younger than our parents had us at. And at the same time, we have aging parents who we are slowly becoming parents for. So there's just so many different social dynamics, career dynamics that weren't an issue before for our foremothers. So anyway, all that to say, you're not the woman losing it. You're the woman who's ahead of the science now, and early into something truly wonderful. So watching this whole field develop is going to be fascinating. A field not just of women's health, but longevity health being built in real time. And you can reap all the benefits of it. So the whole point of this is to take all the latest science, and we're going to translate every single bit, so you're always going to be on the cutting edge and you're always going to know how to best apply it. That's the difference. Take it out of the lab and into our everyday lives so it can help us now when I need this now. So that's not a small thing to be in. So I'm glad you're here. And if it's the transition, not a decline, then it has a shape, you see, before, a during, and an after. And you can climb something that has a shape. You cannot climb a vague getting old concept. So you're not lost. We're recalibrating. And now we can see literally mind-blowing recalibration on screen. So the next time someone tells you it's just your age, you can smile because you've seen the scan. See, it literally is in your head. And we can finally see it. And seeing it is the beginning of the end of shame. But if it shows up on a brain scan, a lot of you are now thinking the thing we are all thinking at 3 a.m. Is this how dementia starts? And that's what my next video is going to be about. And the answer will let you sleep. So make sure you tune in for that one. If today's video helped you question what you were questioning about yourself and you want the next step now, then come join me at my Menopause Basecamp. The link's in the description. Remember, I'm just one step ahead of you on this huge path. It's not a race. It's not a permanent decline. And it can absolutely be an epic climb. So, you know what they say, if you want to go fast, go alone. But if you want to go far, go together. So on that wish, I hope I see you at Basecamp.